A lot of people think buying a cheap used Jeep is a gamble. Sometimes it is. But some Jeep models are so mechanically tough, so overbuilt, and so proven that paying under $15,000 for one almost feels wrong. These are 10 used Jeeps that can still outlast vehicles twice their price. Number 10. Jeep Renegade Trailhawk, 2017 to 2019. The Renegade might be the most disrespected vehicle Jeep has ever built. Too small, not a real Jeep. You have heard it all. And that disrespect is exactly why you can steal one on the used market right now for way less than it should cost. The 2017 model year changed everything for the Renegade. Jeep cleaned up the transmission software, fixed the electronic gremlins that plagued the 2015 and 2016 models, and the result was a compact SUV that actually worked the way it was supposed to. If you avoided the Renegade because of what you heard about those early models, the 2017 and later versions are a completely different experience. The 2.4-liter Tiger Shark 4-cylinder puts out 180 horsepower, and paired with the 9-speed automatic, it handles both highway cruising and trail crawling without complaint. The Trailhawk trim comes loaded with select terrain traction management, skid plates, a raised ride height, and approach angles that compete with SUVs twice its size. Annual maintenance costs sit around $520. That is lower than the Wrangler and Grand Cherokee. And get this, the Italian Carabinieri police force uses the Renegade as a patrol vehicle. If it survives Italian roads and Italian drivers on a daily basis, your commute is going to be just fine. But the Renegade is just the warm-up. The next Jeep takes that same reliability formula and wraps it in something more refined. Number 9. Jeep Compass 2018 to 2020. When Jeep redesigned the Compass for 2017, they tore the whole thing down and started from scratch. The 2018 to 2020 models landed in that sweet spot where the early kinks were already worked out, but the prices have dropped to budget territory. The 2.4-liter 4-cylinder delivers 180 horsepower. Pair it with four-wheel drive, and this thing handles snow, gravel, and light trails without flinching. The Trailhawk variant throws in a 20-to-1 crawl ratio. For a compact SUV at this price, that number is aggressive. But the real story is the durability data. J.D. Power gave the 2020 Compass a quality and reliability score of 82 out of 100. The 2021 followed with an 81. And certain model years carry 0 recalls on record. 0 recalls. On a Jeep. Let that sit for a second. Annual maintenance runs about $526. Parts are everywhere, and the tech package with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto still holds up against newer competitors. The interior is comfortable for 5 passengers, and the ride quality on pavement is smooth enough for daily commuting without any complaints. If you want modern features and four-wheel drive for well under $15,000, the Compass delivers. But what if cutting out all the technology is actually the fastest path to 200,000 miles? That is exactly what the next Jeep proves. Number 8. Jeep Patriot 2014 to 2017. No touchscreen, no adaptive cruise, no electronic systems trying to outsmart you every 5 seconds. The Patriot is the most stripped-down SUV Jeep ever built, and that simplicity is the whole reason these things blow past 200,000 miles, while fancier vehicles are stacking up repair bills. The 2.4-liter engine makes 172 horsepower. You could grab one with a 6-speed manual or a CVT automatic. Four-wheel drive models with the Freedom Drive 2 package include low-range gearing, which gave this little truck actual trail capability that caught a lot of buyers off guard. And the pricing right now is wild. Clean examples regularly dip below $10,000. You could buy a Patriot, throw on new tires, handle a full year of maintenance, and still be under what most people spend on a down payment for a new SUV. That kind of math is hard to argue with. Jeep discontinued the Patriot after 2017, but parts are cheap, every mechanic knows them, and fewer systems means fewer things to break. Period. The Patriot keeps it dead simple. But the next Jeep on this list takes the opposite approach, giving you modern power and technology without the headaches that usually come with it. Number 7. Jeep Cherokee KL 2018, 3.2-liter V6. The Cherokee KL earned a rough reputation early on, and honestly, it deserved it. The 2014 and 2015 models came with a 9-speed transmission that shifted like it was having an argument with itself. Jerky, confused, completely unreliable. But what most people missed is that Jeep spent the next 3 years completely overhauling that system. Software rewrites, hardware revisions, the works. By 2018, the Cherokee drove like a different vehicle entirely. The 3.2-liter Pentastar V6 is the engine to target. It delivers 271 horsepower and 239 pound-feet of torque. And the Pentastar family has been in production since 2011, with a durability track record across hundreds of thousands of miles. J.D. Power gave the 2018 Cherokee an 84 out of 100 for reliability. That is the highest score this generation ever received. The Trailhawk trim adds a locking rear differential, disconnecting front sway bar, and select speed crawl control. Used examples with the V6 land between $12,000 and $15,000, and you get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cabin that still holds its own against newer competitors. The 2018 Cherokee is a modern Jeep done right, but the next entry takes us back to a time when Jeep built things with one goal in mind: survive everything. Buying the right Jeep is only half the game. Keeping it alive is what matters. My Jeep Longevity Guide shows you exactly how. You can find it in the link in the description below. Number 6. Jeep Liberty KJ, 2005 to 2007. Nobody talks about the Liberty. Seriously. Go to any Jeep forum and the conversation is always about Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, and XJs. Meanwhile, the Liberty sits quietly on used lots for half the price, waiting for someone smart enough to notice it. The 3.7-liter PowerTech V6 generates 210 horsepower and 235 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is not its strongest trait, but the low-end grunt on this motor eats trails and steep hills alive. The Command Track and Select Track four-wheel drive systems offer both part-time and full-time modes, giving you genuine off-road capability whenever you need it. By 2005, Jeep had sorted out the transmission issues and front suspension weaknesses that hurt the early KJs. These late-model Liberties regularly hit 200,000 miles on nothing more than oil changes, brake pads, and the occasional ball joint swap. And the prices are almost too good. Clean examples go for $5,000 to $8,000. That leaves a massive cushion in your budget for maintenance, modifications, or just keeping cash in your pocket. The Liberty is the sleeper of this entire list. But the next Jeep is the full-size SUV that most people dream about, and the used market has finally made it affordable. Number 5. Jeep Grand Cherokee W K, 2014 to 2017, 3.6-liter V6. The fourth-generation Grand Cherokee stayed in production for over a decade. That kind of run only happens when the manufacturer nails the formula. The 2014 to 2017 models carry years of continuous improvements, which means every early WK2 issue was sorted out long before these rolled off the line. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 produces 295 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, more than enough for towing, highway driving, and serious off-road work. The 2017 model earned excellent reliability ratings from J.D. Power, and RepairPal puts the average annual maintenance cost at $517. For a full-size luxury SUV, that number is hard to beat. But the owner's stories are what really sell this truck, and they go way beyond what you would expect from a vehicle at this price point. One buyer ran a 2014 Overland past 150,000 miles and called it the best vehicle they ever owned. Another purchased a 2012 with 227,000 miles on it and immediately drove it 800 miles cross-country without a single problem. A Minnesota owner specifically called out the snow mode as making the Grand Cherokee feel unstoppable in winter. The Uconnect system still works great, the cabin materials hold up, and the QuadraTrack four-wheel drive handles every condition you throw at it. Size, luxury, and durability for under $15,000. 5 years ago, that was not possible. Now it is. But the next Jeep trades all that comfort for raw, off-road dominance. Number 4. Jeep Wrangler JK, 2012 to 2014, 3.6-liter Pentastar V6. If you want a modern Wrangler under $15,000, the 2012 to 2014 JK is your window, and that window is closing fast. The early JK models from 2007 to 2011 ran a 3.8-liter V6 that everybody complained about. Underpowered, fuel-hungry, and disappointing. That changed completely in 2012 when Jeep dropped in the 3.6-liter Pentastar. Night and day difference. The Pentastar pumps out 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. It turned the JK from a sluggish weekend crawler into a legitimate daily driver that also eats trails for breakfast. This engine has proven it can last 200,000 to 300,000 miles with regular oil changes and basic fluid maintenance. The 5-speed automatic behind it is equally durable. Landing a JK under $15,000 means higher mileage, but that is the entire point of this list. These vehicles keep going. Body-on-frame construction, heavy-duty axles, and a mechanically straightforward layout make the JK one of the easiest high-mileage vehicles to keep alive affordably. The two-door model is the one most likely to fall under budget, and it is actually the better trail vehicle thanks to its shorter wheelbase. The Wrangler also holds resale value better than almost anything else on the market. Even after years of driving, you can sell it for close to what you paid. That kind of value retention is almost unheard of in the SUV world, and it makes the JK one of the lowest risk purchases on this entire list. The JK with the Pentastar is a proven workhorse, but the next 3 Jeeps carry an engine that makes the Pentastar look like a newcomer, an engine that some owners have pushed past 500,000 miles. Number 3. Jeep Grand Cherokee W, J 2003 to 2004. This is where the list shifts from modern reliability into old-school indestructibility. The WJ Grand Cherokee carries the legendary 4.0-liter straight 6. This is the engine that built Jeep's entire reputation for making machines that outlast their owners. The 4.0 produces 195 horsepower and 230 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers sound modest on paper, but the way this motor delivers smooth, low RPM power makes it perfect for towing, trail work, and everyday driving. And the reason this engine lasts so long comes down to physics. The inline-6 configuration is naturally balanced. Less vibration means less internal wear over hundreds of thousands of miles. V6 engines shake themselves apart over time. A straight 6 just keeps spinning. That is why so many of these motors cruise past 250,000 miles without breaking a sweat. Jeep forums are packed with owners reporting 250,000, 280,000, and well past 300,000 miles without ever cracking the engine open. The 2003 and 2004 models are the final WJ production years, which means every issue from the 1999 launch was already fixed. All 2004 four-wheel drive models received Jeep's trail-rated certification, and the cabin got a refresh that still holds up for a vehicle this age. Used prices sit between $4,000 and $9,000. The only real threat is rust, especially in northern states where road salt attacks the undercarriage. Check the floor pans, rocker panels, and frame rails before buying. If the body is solid, the drivetrain will keep pulling for years. The WJ proved what the 4.0 could do in a full-size package, but the next Jeep put that same engine into something smaller, lighter, and built specifically to take a beating. Number 2. Jeep Wrangler TJ 2004 to 2006. The TJ is the Wrangler that turned the 4.0 into an automotive legend. These are the last Wranglers to ever carry that engine. After 2006, Jeep moved to the V6 in the JK generation, and enthusiasts have been hoarding clean TJs ever since. The 4.0 puts down 190 horsepower and 235 pound-feet of torque. Every bit of that power goes exactly where you need it on steep inclines and rocky terrain. The coil spring suspension was a massive upgrade over the leaf springs on the older YJ, giving the TJ better road manners and dramatically better wheel articulation off-road. And the durability numbers on these motors are borderline absurd. Owners have documented 280,000 miles, 300,000 miles. One enthusiast tracked a TJ past 500,000 kilometers on the original engine without any internal work. That is over 310,000 miles, and the transmissions keep up. Both the AW4 automatic and the NV3550 manual handle years of abuse without complaint. The 2004 to 2006 models are the most refined of the entire 9-year TJ run. Every improvement Jeep made along the way is baked into these final models. The short wheelbase makes the TJ one of the most nimble off-road vehicles ever built, and the aftermarket support is so extensive that you can find replacement parts for every single component. Frame rust is the real enemy here, not the engine. If you find one with a clean frame, the mechanical side could last another decade without breaking a sweat. Prices on clean TJs climb every year because the secret is out. You can still land solid examples under $15,000, but that window shrinks a little more with each passing month. And now, the number one Jeep on this list. The one that started the entire 4.0 legend. Number 1. Jeep Cherokee XJ, 1997 to 2001. The Cherokee XJ takes the top spot because no other vehicle on this list has demonstrated this level of mechanical durability. The 4.0-liter inline-six, a rugged unibody platform, and a dead simple mechanical layout. That combination created a vehicle that just refuses to give up. The 1997 to 2001 models are the ones to target. In 1995, Jeep reinforced the engine block casting, and every 4.0 built from that point forward carries the strongest version of this engine ever produced. It puts out 190 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque, and with basic maintenance it routinely crosses 200,000 to 300,000 miles. The real owner numbers tell the story better than any spec sheet. One retired trucker documented 638,000 miles on a completely stock XJ. The engine was never rebuilt, never opened. Another owner ran a Cherokee as a rural mail vehicle for over 330,000 miles and only replaced the water pump, coil, and distributor. All cheap wear items. A third owner posted 390,000 miles and counting, noting the motor ran a little noisy, but fired up every single time. The AW 4.4-speed automatic paired with the 4.0 is one of the toughest automatics Jeep ever built. Owners report these gearboxes lasting past 300,000 miles without a rebuild. The NP231 transfer case is equally simple and costs almost nothing to rebuild if it ever needs attention. One forum member put it perfectly when he said the 4.0 will outlast the chassis, and that is the truth. The body rusts away before the engine ever thinks about quitting. The XJ is also the easiest Jeep to work on yourself. The engine bay is wide open. Parts are everywhere. The aftermarket community is so massive you could build an entire Cherokee from a catalog. Annual costs stay low because the whole truck was designed around simplicity. No air suspension to fail at 80,000 miles. No complex electronic modules to diagnose. Just a cast iron block, an inline-six, and fuel injection that works every single time you turn the key. One thing to watch for when shopping: the best years within this range are 1997 to 1999. The 2000 models switched to a coil-on plug ignition that costs more to service, and the 2001 models introduced a cylinder head that was prone to cracking. Stick to 1997 through 1999 for the strongest block with the fewest known weak points. Prices swing wildly based on rust. Clean examples go for $5,000 to $12,000. Rusty ones sell for far less. And that is the only thing that kills these trucks. The unibody will rot before the engine ever thinks about quitting. If the body is solid, you are looking at a vehicle that could run another 200,000 miles without major work. The XJ Cherokee proves that great engineering does not need to be complicated. Jeep took an iron block straight six, dropped it into a capable body, and accidentally built one of the toughest vehicles in automotive history. And you can own one right now for well under $15,000. These 10 Jeeps prove durability isn't about price, it's about knowing what to buy. Which one would you trust to hit 300,000 miles? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to make any Jeep last twice as long, my Jeep longevity guide is linked below. Subscribe for more no BS Jeep insights. See you next time.